Hey, it's Nancy Schick, attorney, mediator, and conflict resolution coach in New York City. My goal is to keep you out of court and build your conflict resolution skills. So I've been doing some videos the past couple of weeks to tell you about the free download of my book and kind of looking at what we're all going through as we prepare for the holidays. I shouldn't say all of us, but many of us go through various levels of stress, and just the thought of being around people who maybe we don't see all the time. We don't have a lot of experience in managing our relationships and our conversations and our reactions to certain people. So I think I struck a nerve, especially when I started this conversation and we're looking at the holidays. Some people have reached out and said, what do I do with the people who disrespect me and demean me that I'm going to have to see during the holidays? And maybe it's someone who doesn't honor your lifestyle choices or who you are as an individual, and something that they see being rebellious or however that might be. And obviously with the impeachment proceedings going on here in the United States, there are definitely people that have very different political views, and you're probably going to be encountering them at the holidays because we all have very distinct viewpoints, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the challenge for all of us is to just listen. Of course, that's why my program is called the 30-year conflict resolution process. And so that is why I'm still giving the book away. I'll put the link so that you can get the free download of the book through the end of the year. But I know that most of you are not going to have time to read the book, right? Before you go and you encounter either the people that you work with that you're afraid of having some sort of blow up or unproductive conversation or some sort of confrontation with. So you're probably looking for some very quick tools, and that's what I want to give you today. So I still want you to go get the book download. However, I also want you to have these tools. So the first thing is to make the 7 choices, right? And the purpose of having the 7 choices is just to help you get connected with where you are in your life around certain issues, freeing yourself from the emotions, clearing your mind of everything that you thought you knew about a situation, just so you can be fresh and listen in a new way. Because you're obviously not getting anywhere with this individual that you're afraid you're going to see during the holidays, right? By doing the same thing over and over again. So it's just about, making those 7 choices so that you're acknowledging yourself for doing something different, right? You're, again, freeing those emotions, forgiving yourself for having conflicts and not always knowing how to deal with them, forgiving the world for bringing these conflicts to you, right? Just getting the whole of, there's a lot of emotion that goes on around this, and it's very, very normal. I've been in your shoes. I've had family situations where they're very painful, they're very stressful, and a lot of times these family gatherings or gatherings with colleagues, work colleagues, who maybe you, again, don't spend a lot of time with, and the few times you have been involved with them, they haven't always been positive. So what happens is you keep shoving it down, or you just don't have to deal with them, and then suddenly you're going to have to see them, and that's what's causing the stress. So that, make those 7 choices, then go, we're not going to go into the 5 actions yet for these holiday gatherings that you're concerned about. That's what the book's for. That's what you're going to go and do afterwards. But we're just going to get you through these holiday gatherings and these stressful scenarios that you're worried about. And you want to think through the potentials. I did this with a family member the last time that I went to a holiday gathering at a particular family member's home, where I started thinking about some of the painful, stressful interactions that I had had with them in the past. And I said, okay, well, I know I didn't handle it as well as I'd like. So if they say this thing or something like it that I know tends to get me a little riled up, I'm going to already be prepared for it. I'm not going to expect everything to go, beautifully because it's the holidays. We know, right, that or I did in that situation, it was likely that there was going to be something hurtful said, something that took me out of my A game. And the seven choices again are all about getting you back in your A game, or having you think about who you really want to be in a situation. So then after you think through some of the potential scenarios that you know you haven't handled well in the, from the past that might show up again, you can say, okay, if they say this, I'm going to do that. If they do this, I'm going to do that, right? And so I think about in the political realm, for example, it may be that somebody wants to talk about the impeachment with some very strong views that you disagree with. Well, obviously, you could just go into another room or excuse yourself in some way, and remove yourself from the situation. And I invite you to take that on, and at this particular holiday gathering, so that you're just allowing yourself to have some fun. You're not going to change people's minds at a holiday party, especially if there's alcohol involved, especially if they know that, the people that you're concerned about, they know that they can get under your skin a little bit. There's some maneuvering, manipulation, some game playing that goes on, that these the people that we're struggling with, a lot of times they know exactly what they're doing. So one of the best things you can do for yourself to not ruin it for yourself and for the people that you love and that you don't have problems with, is to just remove yourself from it. I'm not saying that you're condoning the behavior. You're just not engaging. You're saying, I want to have a happy holiday and I'm not going to play this game this year. And you don't have to say that vocally, right? Just say it with your behavior. And I thought a lot about that the last time that I had this particular situation. And then I also had a plan for if it really got bad, how to remove myself. And this was even when my mother was alive and I was driving her to this particular gathering. So I started thinking about, well, if this happens again, what can I do to make sure that my mother's still well taken care of and that I don't have to put up with this? So I made sure that I had a backup plan for how to leave. I knew how to call an Uber. I knew how to take public transportation. I knew how to call a friend. I knew how to make sure that my mother got home safely. And those were the things that I had planned for in advance. So I invite you to just take a look at that. I know that this can be very painful for some of you. And again, having been there, I sympathize, I empathize, but I also know that if you're even watching this video, right? Like if you're at all interested in my work, I know that you are aware that you can be bigger than these situations, and that's what you want. So go back, make those seven choices, create your action plan, and have your exit strategy so that you can have your best holiday yet. Thanks. Bye.